Big, big, big.
In or out, it's your call.
There's no ref here.
That's on us.
Decisions like these are about trust.
That's spirit.
Not a slogan.
But to be fair,
Even when the game is on the line.
It's not easy.
sometimes it gets intense.
Because spirit keeps the game bigger than the point.
Bigger than the call, bigger than me,
It's how I know I can go all out.
and trust my opponent will too.
It's not just rules, it's respect.
Because when you respect the call,
You respect the player.
It's every decision you make.
every conversation, every point,
It's the reason I compete at my best.
And when I have to make the call,
in or out,
I'll call it honestly.
Because spirit is the standard.
And we don't play below it.
And we are back with our coverage of the Canadian Ultimate Championships 2026 edition. At last, had a little bit of a lightning delay, thunder delay. When we hear thunder here, we have to clear the fields. No one's allowed out for 30 minutes. And unfortunately, every time we click down to about 15 minutes to go, there was another strike, which resets the clock. So spent some time in our cars, spent some time in the building, sheltering, but we're back out here now for our mixed pool play coverage. We've got PBHG from Winnipeg in the pink on the left side of your screen today, starting, and local 613 from Ontario on the right. They are mainly Kingston, Ontario. Since this game is starting late, this is an hour and 15 delay. The decision was made that all games today would just simply be pushed to start an hour and 15 later. So we still have 3 streams, this and 2 more. We're going to have a women's quarter and then an open quarter after this game. But everything's just starting later. And as long as the Thunder and Lightning don't come back, we'll remain on schedule starting now an hour and 15 push to our original schedule. I'm Clayton Howlett, joined with Coach Habib Atala. I'm talking too fast, man. We have too long of a break to get back in here. How you feeling about this game?
Already, we just had a coffee refill, so we're ready to go after that thunder delay. And this is a great game to win right now because these teams are 2-1 in their pool. PBHG just lost to Goblin, so they're looking to get back into things and get the second place finish in their pool. So again, has implications for the rest of their CUC. So both teams look going out to play hard.
Local 613 going to start on defense in this game. There's the horn to get us going. And this is going to be for mixed. You might have heard me talking about yesterday. There's an extra rule set, and that is gender matching for each point. This is a 4 female matching, 3 male matching point. So a female matching player has to pull. That pull will land short and roll out of bounds here at half. And it will be the Thomas Boyle picking up for PBHG. Boyle has options. He's just going to chuck immediately to Paget. And he had the wheels, but just bounced off of his hands. We've seen in the past, PBHG really relies on him as a striker. He's very deadly. Just an unfortunate error.
Absolutely. Paget, big player for PBHG. Had the privilege of seeing him play at the Masters Beach in November of last year. And big time player for them.
PBHG's O-line able to get it back on the errant pass from Pearson. And Boyle and Mitchell will play some pass. Paget working in the middle against Pearson to get open. His pass is crisp to find Ewan Mitchell. And PBHG working very hard to get that one back. The score, 1-0 on the dirty hold.
And as you can see there on 2 occasions, and the Thomas Boyle loves that inside backhand. There's so much touch on that throw, and there's giving so many opportunities and so much time for the receivers to run onto that. Local 613 definitely going to have to keep an eye on that inside backhand.
Local 613 has been lingering. Just we were kind of talking about how Coda was doing this yesterday, kind of lingering for that top 8 bracket entry in their games, pre-quarters, and these sort of 2-3 matchups are where they've ended up a lot, often just shy of the top 8. PBHG, on the other hand, have been in this position lots of times. They won the championship in 2018 on this very field. So it will, and I was remarking earlier that they seem to make their way onto the stream here every year that they're here. So
Absolutely.
they've been in these positions many times. Don't really expect to see any jitters from being on the stream. And this is only still pool play, so losing this game because they're both 2-1 would not knock them out of contention, but would offer a far better crossover if they won. This underthrow to Renault, gets a big gain, and he flips that over to Craig. Craig goes up the line. Oh, all a shot. Renault puts that up in the air high, and as it floated, Ella Boyda was right with her check, Kirsten Craig, and Boyd is able to make the play. Stay with your checks, folks. You never know when the wind's going to give you a gift.
PBHG's D-line right now setting up in a vertical stack on the sideline play here.
But immediately, some coaching here from local to force the swing. Daya needs a reset. Has it in Waldman. Daya will take off, and Waldman's going to chuck to him. It's a laser. Does Daya have the wheels? He does. Extends out to make the grab. Gets right back up, looking for some options. And calls a timeout. Now his count, they're just confirming the count of what it will come in on. His defender, Alex Finlater, it was allowed to count fouls right away. Nope, I'm sorry, that's not Finlater. It might be. We have no 54 for local 613. But we'll find out. What do you think of that timeout call, Coach?
Honestly, if they can find a way to reset themselves and make sure that they punch in this break, this is going to be a huge opportunity, especially, and we had talked about the wind in earlier videos, Clay, where if you can get up to that sideline where the downwind is going from left to right, that is going to be a huge momentum swing. So if they can work it up the field and start on defense going downwind again, huge play for PBG.
Yeah, the wind, a little bit different from what we've been experiencing earlier in this tournament. It's usually coming in from the top left of your screen and blowing down towards the bottom right. Today seems a lot more horizontal. It's just to your screen, that is, straight left to right. So this is definitely scoring on the upwind side. On the timeout, you have 70 seconds for readiness for offense, after which you're no longer allowed to move. And then the defense gets 20 seconds to set up. With this very deep vertical stack by PBHG, I'm expecting an ISO play, that is to isolating the cutter in front. No real surprise there.
You can see local having a poach defender on the bail here.
Yeah, making PBHG throw break, and some good coaching from the sideline by Coach, well, player, but used to call him Coach Peter Gilbert. But he's telling his players to kind of force the middle for an advantage, and it worked out. Cremel looking for options. He'll get that around to Renault. Renault, his passing up high, and once again, making it difficult is a local 613 for their receiver, Kirsten Craig, loading the passes up there, and that one's not on the mark. Waldman.
All your left hand, stay left, jump forward, stay left.
As a reset to Teason, didn't like it, so he goes around to Daya. Daya making another big play to keep this alive. McLeod. He's going to put that out to space to Waldman, and that just sits for Waldman. And that is a break for PBHG, getting a very advantageous upwind break. And I would expect to see on the subsequent pull a dogged defense, either a zone or something, really clamping down on the handlers to try and take advantage of the wind here.
Absolutely. This is exactly what they wanted to be, the situation that they wanted to be in for PBHG. And again, having so much touch on their hucks, like they are allowing the disc to sit for an extended period of time and giving so much time for the receivers to get there. I like the celly from that as well.
Observers giving us some bunny ears, but actually what they're signaling, it's the second male matching point here. So you do have to keep track in the mixed division. You rotate every 2 points. You rotate whether it's for female or male players who are the majority on your line. Second male point. So you see PBHG has it in the hands of Jonah Wong. Pull. You know, Coach, you've done a lot of coaching in Open. That's right. But you'll be an assistant coach for the U24s in the mixed division for TC. Are you doing your homework out here, studying some gender advantageous matchup times and so forth?
Oh yeah, it's been an absolutely fantastic week to see players, to meet different players, and to also see the play styles that we have in our mixed division.
Tomachab able to find receiver up line. Is the locals feel a lot of pressure, and that is bonked out of the hands of Rachel Olashuk. Her defender Emma Robertson just contacting that by mistake. You're not allowed to knock it out of the player's hands if they're holding it firmly. An athletic play by Will Beveridge to keep that in. Doesn't have a reset and eventually find someone up the line, and it's Max Tomachab sticking around, getting the scoop, and he punches it in to Caitlin Windover, which puts local 613 on the board, arguably on the harder side of the field, arguably probably one of the most important points they can get, even though it's the first one. They really needed to work it back this way and get that goal.
A very aggressive and decisive cutting from local 613. They showed on the previous points that they were able to do that. You know, they had some unfortunate miscues, but they showed to PBHG early that, hey, we can walk it up this field, and we're going to be doing the same thing.
Both of these teams 2-1. PBHG, I was talking to them and as well their opponent Goblin earlier, and they had a banger of a game. But they said it was one of the most positive ones. 3s on the Spirit score, both teams awarded each other. They said it was the most fun, the most spirited, and the most competitive they had in a long time each. So you love to hear that. But Goblins did pull out the win against PBHG on a universe break.
Mm-hmm.
So that was Goblin scoring after starting the point on defense. And I don't know the score for 613, but they also lost. So as Habib, you said earlier, this is the 2-3. PBHG obviously shooting for those finals, but Lobos, this is kind of a test for them. They want to get in that top 8. They want to see what they can do here. They want to see if they can punch up, as they've been knocking on the door a few years.
Absolutely. There's a chance for local 613 to keep putting Kingston on the map.
Up against a zone here. Interesting how 613 is willing to set up some matchups and a taxi, as Boyle is followed in match defense by someone from the opposite gender. Interesting strategy here from 613. An attempt to challenge on different body types and statures. Galbraith follows along on the mark. PBHG, despite the mismatches and so forth, does not care, doing a great job of swinging the disc around. Boyle is going to find a gap to Fauché. And Mitchell now have no field, but they'll reset to Boyle, who goes around to Nguyen. Nguyen has the inside to Fauché. They'll have to reset to Boyle. Able to go into the face guarding defense. A little bit of a loss, and Boyle puts that out to space. And it's Remy Eisendreff trying to make the play, had to hit the dirt, and it just bounced out of his hands.
I like the zone look by local 613, having a woman matching player taxiing a open matching handler in this case. Again, you're taking your arguably one of the best throwers on that line and slowing the game down, so really changing up the throwing angles for PBHG.
Pass over the top seemed a little bit Risky, but works out as locals able to find someone in the back of the stack to collect. But under a lot of pressure was Avery Michaels, and her pass to Pearson does not connect. Boyle will pick back up as PBHG gets into their vertical. It was Nguyen able to muscle her way through there as she'll throw that back to Boyle. She stays in front of the disc to provide a reset. Instead, Boyle will go around to Eisendreth. He swings that. Herms, longtime player on this team, throws a pass to Mitchell, who makes an athletic grab to keep it alive. Boyle has Herms up the line, doesn't like it. But Fauché comes under instead, gets that into the middle to Eisendreth, flips it right back to Boyle. They really want it in his hands despite the position. Goes back to Eisendreth, doesn't like the break side backhand, looking for options. Goes back to Boyle, the safe choice for this PBHG crew. And he'll have the inside break to Ewan Mitchell. The score, 3-1. Hold for PBHG.
Couple of athletic grabs to keep that disc alive from PBHG's whole line. Also a great way to, they did a great job of also having so many defenders surrounding the middle of the field, forced up a high stall, and able to get that disc back.
Yeah, it was interesting how willing they were to give the disc back to Boyle and not look at continues. Yeah, that shows you that this is a team that has really defined roles, and I like that. I like that. It's not that you're trying to say, Cutters, I'm not interested in you or I don't trust you. It's more that like, hey, team, we've got a really good quarterback in the Thomas Boyle. Let's try and get it in his hands whenever we can to take those shots. And I mean, with a throw like that into the end zone, it makes sense. So, I mean, it does kind of pad Boyle's position on the stat sheet. But that's not everything, everybody. The team game. So PBHG pulling. Female matching point, so 4 players from that gender on the field.
So far, been a lot of match defense from PBHG as well, just electing to stay within their means right now. They want to put a lot of pressure on these Cutters.
Clement will go around, but his pass is too low for Renault. And in the red zone is PBHG setting up in a horizontal, not getting into the vertical right away. Waldman will bring the disc to the sideline. And he's got the inside shot on the dancing cut by Jennifer Herms, getting open. Great movement. Rowledge puts that out to Waldman. Waldman's got an open shot to 76 McLeod, but he doesn't like it. Instead, he'll look a few off. Now he needs a reset, running out of time. But Jennifer Herms coming back to help. Waldman is going to find Herms. Not in. And Herms sneaking it through the middle to Grace Rowledge. There is a call, so just wait, everybody.
I think there's a signal of a potential travel call here.
Gotcha. No walking. In ultimate, once you set a pivot, you got to keep that pivot foot on the ground. Herms has a reset to Waldman. Herms sticks around. The work to go up the line again, but it's not there. This time McLeod gets the around. And a big foot block by Renault as a wide open Ella Boyda was there for the continue, and Renault seemed to sense it and sticks out the long.
I think that's why they call him Tall Paul.
That's why they call him Tall Paul. Loved that. Clement. Not the intended receiver, but heads up by local to keep this alive. Polishuk will center that to Craig. Craig tries to throw through the contact. It is certainly a foul. Okay, hot take, but I very much disagree with Rowledge discussing this.
Yeah, it seems like there was very much contact on that throw.
We get one hot take per game. It's in the manual for commentators, everybody. But, We're going to see if players go to the observer here. Coming in at 3, so it is contested. Craig moves that to Rogers. The pass is up high, mid. Local 613 is not making this easy for Craig, but there is another foul call. That is the third floaty pass to her this game that she's had to try and field. But saying that she felt Rowledge came through her, to make the play. Well, we will find out. It was a contest last time.
Yeah, Kirsten Craig, I think here expressing that on a second attempt to make a play on the disc, she felt taken out, and there was contact preventing her from making that second play while that disc was floating.
So, lots of perspectives here. Observer ruling, no foul. So this time it goes to Routledge making the play, and PBHG ends up with the disc. I agree with that one, Routledge.
Absolutely.
Walden calling what he wants, and it is a big backhand to McLeod. And Routledge coming under. Lots of options here open for PBHG. Waldman has space out to Routledge. Can she make it the double happiness? Fails too far. And Local will get it back. This is a D point for PBHG and O point for Local. Local has struggled to keep the disc crisp on their throws. A lot of errant throws right now. Need to just put that snap into the wrist. More spin. Keep it low. Tomachev doesn't like Renault's under as it was covered. They'll have to go all the way around to Allison Rogers, but that's a pretty good position in the middle of the field. Hearing the team in dark from the sideline saying, finish the cut. As no continues are there, but Rachel Olashuk from the front helps out, and it gets back to Rogers. This pass up high, and we'll circle back to that as another error from 613 on their throwing. This picked up by Waldman. High pass to McLeod. He'll go back to Waldman, who does a little dancing but gets wide open. Thiessen now has Boyda. And Boyda is rewarded after some hard work this game with pressure D's. That is a break. As Local 613 was moving up the hard side of the field to score 4-1 for the team in pink.
And pretty clear here to see that all of PBHG's open side throws, break throws, even pop passes have all had a lot of touch on them, been very crisp and very to their target, given enough time for the receivers to make a play. Something that, we're looking for, we're looking for Local 613 to have a chance to clean that up a little bit on the offensive end.
Tangent circle complete. Indeed, we was coming down to throws right now. So, each team rocking clipboards, but only one team with a coach. For PBHG, it's Coach Brendan and Robin running the show. Local 613 doesn't have a coach, but it's a captain-ran team. But they've got lots of coaching experience from Renault and Galbraith for support. Galbraith has been doing a lot of coaching from the sideline when he's not on, hearing him explain to his team where to go and what to do, keeping spirits high. 613 will center this against this fluffy match defense, and they get it moving right away. Olashuk. That's Rachel Olashuk looking for options. He goes to Craig, and that one is a little too tight to the sideline and pushed out of bounds. Yonkman is going to bring that up to the, if you see it on your screen, there's a tiny little orange beanbag on the side. That's where the disc went out of bounds and never came back in. So he gets to bring it up to where it went out. has a reset to Jonah Wong, and he'll move that around to Burrell. This pass is high. It's contested, and Renault, the big man, gets the D. He'll put that out to space for number 4, Devin Pearson, a captain on the team, turning on the Jets. No, not a captain on the team, pardon me. Jets, nonetheless. And the score is 4-2.
I feel like we sound like a broken record by saying Tall Paul doing Tall Paul things.
Indeed. Tall Paul coming through with the defensive play. I'm just checking to see here who we've got, if there's any TC players, but Rebecca Bieber had made the roster for PBHG as a reserve. And 613 just supporting Coach Galbraith, who will be your co-assistant coach.
Absolutely.
U24 mixed. PBHG has a team mantra. It's why not us? They are a family who's worked hard together and wants to be here. One of the top seeds coming into the tournament, if not the top seed coming into the tournament. I got it wrong with Quest. Sorry, everybody. But yeah, they are highly ranked. They did come in 4th last year. The teams that place above them are all at the World Ultimate Club Championships this week. So PBHG, the highest ranking team from the year previous at this tournament. Local 613. They've got a plan. They're focusing on what they can control. They want to play with spirit. And the old but dependable give it their best as they play. Jordan Turner and the Thomas Boyle moving it back and forth as they notice it's a zone. We've seen this interesting, like, highly covered, very aggressive mark from local 613 to try and punish mismatches or put big bodies up front. A little bit of an FSU, if you will. Boyle takes off from the handler position, and he's wide open as the deep did not pick him up. And it's a 3-on-2. He has lots of options. Mitchell's not quite in. And instead of going over the top to the wide open Paget, Boyle gets another stat, sits in front for the quick pass. The score, 5-2.
PBHG noticing immediately that there was the Thomas Boyle streaking to the deep space, and they were going to absolutely put that to the deep end and keep that offensive point running. Local 613 having a zone that was trying to ensure that they can have a very tall Will Beveridge mark on most of these coverages as the disc moves from side to side, and in this case just caught in a situation where they saw that the D space was wide open.
It's a scary zone. It's typically called an FSU, which of course stands for Full Send Ultimate. And it's where
that's what I remember.
Yeah, it's what I remember too. And it's where you kind of play a match defense on the handlers. You've got 3 handler marks up front, and they always just kind of play match defense on whoever they can find, the 3 most back, and then the rest of the field plays a zone where you have a mid, wings, and deep. And what you end up getting is you get these big bodies always on the marks, and if their stature is advantageous against whoever has the disc, it's to generate turnovers. But PBHG just doesn't care. They don't care. Anyone can get the disc from their team. They don't mind. And they're finding ways to make passes to open space for all of their players. Really good kind of mixed team-oriented support. Clement will pick up for 613. Vertical stack here. They try play, doesn't really work out. And once again, I'm feeling bad for Kirsten Craig here as she is generating separation on her cuts and finding space, but another one that's just kind of past her. Nevertheless, PBHG has ways to capitalize. Boyda comes underneath, looking for the arounds. Instead, all the way from the other side, she's able to get it to McLeod. McLeod's looking out to space. Will throw that deep to the end zone. Back to Boyda. And another goal for Boyda. And that's a break upwind. The score, 6-2. PBHG with all of the energy right now, I would say. You call a timeout here if you're the dark team?
If I was the dark team, I would call timeout to just stop the bleeding in a sense. You know, you don't want the momentum to be so shifted to one side. You don't want them to be continuously hyped up. It would be a good timeout here for sure from local.
This mixed pool, the records, if we're not mistaken, if we did our research correctly, the records in that pool when such that there was no three-way tie that was going to be generated. Everything's sort of gone to seed here. So both these teams, whether they win or lose, will be through to the next phase. No one will be knocked out based on their record. Once again, this is a pool play game. More mixed teams, so their pool play gets pushed farther into the tournament. So each team will go to a pre-quarter here, but it's who will they face, and the loser will face harder competition.
Absolutely.
They'll face a winner in a sister game, as they're happening all over us here at Newton Athletic Park. We've said all week the weather has been great, and minus a little bit of lightning earlier, the sun is back out. Wonderful day for Ultimate.
I'm hoping to see these teams continuously just give it their all because, regardless if it was a win or a loss for either team, this is a learning game. This is a game for reps. This is a game to get yourselves ready for that next round.
Pearson finds Craig. That pass right into the bread basket for her. Renault and his check knocked down a little bit, but just incidental, so they keep playing. Craig getting it around to Pearson. He hits the dirt to keep it alive. He's looking for a reset. Elects to go for the inside flick. Has some mustard on it. Not too much for Caitlin Windover. She passes that to Rogers. On the doorstep now. Rogers needs something. She has Pearson who comes back on the 45. And he puts that out to space for Renault. I guess they did not need the timeout, Habib, but nevertheless, whether you call that timeout or not, they needed to stop the bleeding, and that is a great way to answer.
Absolutely. It started with that amazing one-hand grab from Allison Rogers, number 5, giving it back around to the center, inside shot to Paul Renault. Really much of a statement point here. You know, it didn't take them much long to get up the field. They were very aggressive and decisive with their taking space in their cutting lanes, and a way to get that hold for local.
So 6-1-3 getting to put their D-line back on. They do run a D-line. Seeing Galbraith out there, who's been off for a few points with the disc. Brundage.
I'm interested in seeing what crossovers could occur here in the next couple of points in the first half. Also seeing if they're going to elect to stay with that type of zone that they've been generating on the D-line. Are they going to come down and match, or are they going to come to the that's the one I was thinking of. Yeah.
All right. That is, you don't want to do that, team. We're going to tell you what just happened. May Nguyen attempting to stop the roll, but because she touched it and then rolled out the back corner there, because the offense contacted it, they have to take it for where it rolled out of bounds. They can't bring it up to the front on this
is a massive advantage for local right now.
Boyle trying to call some shots. This is a scary place for PBHG. Will Boyle just chuck it? He will, just to get it out of there. Paget has the read, and Paget boxes his check out wide open. No one's on number 9, Jordan Turner. And she runs onto it. Wow. The Thomas Boyle getting his team out of a jam with the help of Matthew Paget making the read on that, as a Will Beveridge was in the area to make the D. Why that is so deadly, you might say, oh, it's a zone. It doesn't matter. It's because you have no backfield. You can only go in one direction when you're in the back corner. May Nguyen, I would go give Boyle a hug right now. Or if you're watching this back later, give him a hug right now, because that was risky.
Yeah, way to get out of the end zone. And
she turned to her whole team and loudly said, "That's my bad."
Oh, absolutely. And they made the best out of that situation.
Yeah,
Honestly,
he certainly
it's getting
did.
it to a receiver they know they could trust to get up with two hands and make a big play, and finishing the job out there for PBHG.
So, you know, I had something ready to go there. PBHG had a game against Union on this very field in 2023. They had what was essentially back-to-back Callahans
Oh, I remember
against
that
each
game.
other in the end zone. It was wild.
Been
Oh,
some amazing games on this field and at this park.
Yeah, great place to be. Clement, that ball gets away from him, and it will stay in bounds. So now he's going to have it in the same corner. Speaking of things back to back, what are the odds? He's able to get it to Pearson, still in the end zone, but has a little backfield to work with. Instead, goes up the line to Rachel Olachuk. She has an open underneath to Tomilchev. Up the line to Craig. That pass in the breadbasket. Some cascading cuts here from the handler cores. Olachuk gets the disc back. Craig's going to take up off the line. She'll get it back up high, but she takes it that time. Looks to Clement. Clement muscles his man out of the cutting lane. Gets the scoop cut up the line. Both teams getting themselves out of coffin corner. The score now 7-4.
Local 613 doing a great job of, I'm just going to go up line and I'm going to take position on you right now, right here. And very decisive, very aggressive once again. And they was pretty much all open side on that far sideline all the way to that front cone.
Yeah. Working up that open side in that cascade. You don't like to see that if you're a coach with your team on defense. You want to shut that down. Offenses really want to keep that flow going. You've heard that term flow and ultimate. What does it mean? Well, really, is the defense proactive or is the defense reactive? And that whole point, they were reactive. No one really took the initiative on the PBHG to just get in front of the throwing lane on the sideline there and sort of stifle that upline cascade to at least make 613 slow down so that they could then have the initiative on defense.
This could be a big momentum swing for
Yeah.
local if they manage to either force a turn or even get the break. Because, PBHC right now knocking on the door of halftime. So if you can keep this first half going, this is going to be a very interesting game.
Minor. Her pull. Hit the ground around the brick mark and then have a little bit of roll. This time the goalie skills are far better. Newen stayed away from that. And his hawk has got blocked a little bit. And great pressure D from 613, but there's a call. So Eisendra's saying the contact on my huck there was in fact a foul. Habib, I was looking downfield at who the receivers were. I only heard the block by ear.
Yeah, I heard it too.
Did you? Yeah, but I didn't actually see if it was still in his hand or not. Thomas Boyle pleading with everyone else of what should happen. He's kind of sticking his hands out saying, no contest. And we get an observer ruling of it was a foul. So we heard it, but it was not quite out of his hands. Maybe y'all can see that on tape.
I like the question that the local player was asking, saying, hey, did it leave your hand and then I hit your hand, or was it still in your hands? And that contact affect your ability to continue your hucking motion to get that disc out there. So I appreciate the conversation that they were having.
You were saying to me off stream kind of after yesterday, it's good to ask questions and find out what the other perspective is.
Absolutely. It de-escalates, and then it just makes a nice human interaction in a tense moment.
Heather Herms. Over to Boyle. Boyle looking for a huck. It's not there. He's asking for some resets. Heather goes up the line with some wheels. One of the two Herms sisters on this field. That pass, a little bit of a miscue with her receiver. And it's Sally Franks who had a read on that the whole time. She tries to take off, but a good switch by PBHG disallows any huck opportunity. Nobody's on Claire Allen, but doesn't matter. They're going to air that out, and that had a lot of spice on it. Julian Costigan maybe could have got it, but it certainly would have resulted in going through the legs of his teammate. So he pulled up. Smart decision.
You had two PBHG defenders taking the open side lane or just sitting in front of that vertical stack of local 613, wanting them to force something around. In this case, they were able to force a huck out of them.
This is interesting, as the vertical stack is stacked with the female matching players for PBHG, trying to open it up so there's no poaches from male matching downfield. Love to see that mixed strategy. As you know, they had it going. They were letting the ladies do their thing, do the work, and off their wheels will give you a big advantage. And if you get the guys like Tall Paul out of the way, but that huck just turns over on Maddie Schwartz's possible reception. So 613 now has another opportunity. Eisen draft is short of that play, but then it pops out of the hands of Costigan. New one has to hustle as it took a little too long to get to that disc and got time delayed, so the stall count already has a head start.
For those who don't know, observer signaling that you have 10 seconds in the central zone, so the two end zone lines, and in between is that central zone. So you got 10 seconds to pick up that frisbee and get it going.
And if you purposely delay, 3. So
absolutely,
it's not a long time. Minor puts that out to space. Beveridge is able to round the corner and keep that in. He's going to pop that in front to Jones. Jones has space up the gun to Allen. And Maddie Schwartz able to take the inside lane to make the play. I hear a lot of water call as I look down at my clipboard here. It must be a timeout.
Absolutely. And good timeout again. Your O-line is probably gassed and wants some water. And you know that you're knocking on the door of halftime, so you might as well set something up, walk your way up, and make sure that you are cool, calm, collected in order to punch this in and get to halftime for a longer break.
I'll take the second just to say, following this stream, we're going to have a matchup in our women's quarterfinal. Quarterfinal?
Yeah.
Crossover.
Quarterfinal.
I hope so. So I've been really bad with saying what the next thing is proper. But it's going to be Drift versus Cube, I believe. So Drift from Vancouver, Cube from Quebec City. And then in our open division, I believe it's going to be Winnipeg's General Strike versus, I'm going to get it for you, everybody. Intrepid reporter Shane Pfeiffer out there in the field keeping us updated. It's going to be Quake or Strike versus Hound or Etobicoke, actually. So we're going to wait and see what we end up with there.
Absolutely great matchups in that open division.
PBHG using their 70 seconds to signal readiness. They've got a very wide vertical stack. Three handlers back, or a very shallow stack.
You got an open matching poach deep for local right now.
Yeah. Mitchell's wide open, punishing the mismatch there. Thinks about throwing it, but 613 able to put that male matching deep to kind of cut off any hucks. Mitchell moves that over to Boyle. They'll play together as they've got some gains. Once again, PBHG okay with it in his hands. Eisendrecht now. Yeah, finds the around. O'Shea, her pass airs out. Loco makes the play. During the chilly call from the sideline, they need to value here if they want to end the half. On a positive note. His throw just grabbed by number 27, Michaels. That was number 20, Will Beveridge with the toss.
Local 613 absolutely fired up right now. What a beautiful throw by Will Beveridge. And a great grab down the stretch for local 613. This is the break you wanted, you know. They sat a open matching poach pretty much near the red zone the entire time on that open after the timeout, and I guess it paid off right there, Clay.
And I was saying, you know, that doesn't take half or anything, but I was saying local wants to end this half on a good note. And I think whether they score this next point or not, you know, it could be 8-5, it could be 7-6, and then we'll get in the halftime time cap or whatever. But like, that is so much different than 8-4. People, you know, you feel a big energy and momentum shift as a player, as a coach, even beyond 1 point. When you think you're doubled up, a team's doubled up against you, or you're within 2 breaks, it really does make a difference for your mental preparation. So, local showing they're still in this game. What a layout there by Avery Michaels. Now it had all of us getting a little holding their breath.
Oh yeah, Avery Michaels top speed there, showing all the way to the back cone to make that grab. PBHG also looking like they're keeping that same O-line. They're thinking, hey, we had a timeout, you know, it didn't work. Let's just put our O-line back on again, and let's try to finish the job here.
See Paget back out there, the big receiver, PBHG. Did you say he's Masters now?
No, he was playing for the Senior Open team, and while I was coaching Masters, and, so I had a privilege of watching
I
his
was like,
games.
am I really that old?
Yeah.
But all right, Boyle picks up. He'll flip that over the top to his vertical stack, and a pass by, I believe it was Matty Schwartz. It's just a little shy. This disc works its way around for 613. Jones looking for options. It's hanging. Schwartz unable to get it back as Windover elevates to keep it alive for 613. A break chance for them to keep this game even tighter. Michaels moves it to Windover. Jones scooping in front of the stack. 613 showing some wheels here. The big man Jones always available in front of the stack. He's going to air that out.
Oh, what a two-hand grab. And the nicest spike ever.
That was Emmett Brundage. Oh, there's a call. Paget saying, I think you pushed off of me or scooped me and I couldn't follow you. We'll see. Honestly, if I'm 613, I'm going to the observer here, because if Paget
Absolutely.
contests, it's going back to the thrower. If I don't contest, it's going back to the thrower. If I get the observer ruling, it might be a goal. No. I'm right? No disadvantage going to the observer there?
Well, if it was a uncontested foul call from the local 613 player saying, hey, I actually did push you off while I was on offense, it would actually result in a turnover.
Oh, okay, never mind. Take it back. Clay's wrong once again. So,
But local with the disc
thing to
back here.
do.
Nice end zone point here. Let's do this.
The disc hits the ground as Jones's low throw there is pushed down by the wind. The wind, again, that corner has been a thing. It has shifted, so once again, it's coming down right onto the screen right now. And if the disc gets underneath the disc, it's just, the wind, pardon me, gets underneath the disc. It's really forcing things to the ground. PBHG is going to chuck. Paget's in the area. Defenders coming in. Who's got the read? Paget a little upset that he didn't get it, but Brundage had the superior position there. Great competition. He'll just pick up right away. That is legal. He doesn't have to bring it to the front if he sets a pivot. Galbraith looking for resets. We'll get that back over to Brundage. As Michael's in the middle, he'll move that up to Eric Olachuk. And a big layout block by May Nguyen. That certainly makes up for the lack of goalie skills earlier. Huge athletic play. PBHG in a very good position to take half. Nobody's on number 11. Mitchell, as he gets the big swing to the break side, and there's a discussion by Jones and Boyle here. Seems to be settled very quickly, coming in on stall 1. Boyle has an underneath to Fauché. She'll flip it back to Boyle, and he's got an easy inside out break to Paget on his back end. PBHG takes the half. 8-4, 8-5, excuse me, a little bit of a heartbreaker for 613, as that could have been a little bit closer as they had that push off in the end zone. And that brings us to halftime. Halftime is 7 minutes. So you can take a break as a viewer and come back with us in 7 minutes. Or if you'd like to watch some ads and halftime interviews, stay glued to your screen. We'll be back soon.
Big.
In or out, it's your call.
There's no ref here.
That's on us.
Decisions like these are about trust,
That's spirit.
not a slogan.
But to be fair,
Even when the game is on the line.
It's not easy.
sometimes it gets intense.
Because spirit keeps the game bigger than the point.
Bigger than the call, bigger than me,
It's how I know I can go all out.
and trust my opponent will too.
It's not just rules, it's respect.
Because when you respect the call,
You respect the player.
It's every decision you make.
every conversation, every point,
It's the reason I compete at my best.
And when I have to make the call,
in or out,
I'll call it honestly.
Because spirit is the standard.
And we don't play below it.
All right, here we are here with some halftime interviews coming up for you at CUC Newton Athletic Park. Thomas Boyle, good to see you. PBHG is up 8-5. Walk me through the local 613 got the break to get a little bit of momentum. Then you guys went back on 0 to seal the deal. So walk me through a little bit in that first half.
Yeah, they threw a couple interesting looks at us. We noticed a double taxi. I don't know if I've ever seen a double taxi. We definitely don't have those over in Australia. But you know, it's fun strategies, makes us think, gets our brains ticking, and but yeah, we sort of figured out a little bit. But then I think that was a new look on that last point that really threw us a curveball. So props to them for keeping us thinking.
Absolutely. The seeing a women matching taxi on open matching players, switching up a little bit of the defensive looks. What has been your strategies generally as a team when it comes to zone? Are we going to swing the field a lot? Are we going to try to find the middle? Walk me through a little bit of your tactics on that.
Yeah, generally for zones we play pretty flowy. I think Winnipeg as a whole they play very usually quite cramped compared to other styles of ultimate that I've seen. We try to stretch the field a little bit more than that just to keep those longer options open and to give us a space to, you know, freely swing the disc and find those those shots through the middle in flow. But yeah, you know, it's definitely a little bit different when you have, you know, the length of some of their male matching players. There are some big boys out there and some speedy female matching players as well.
It's been some super fun matchups on both ends. The wind obviously picking up, but noticing PBHG early, lots of snap on your throws. The disc is just hanging for days, allowing so much room for receivers to make those grabs. Is that something you do at practices at PBHG? Is it just throwing talents naturel, or what can that be a part of?
I would say normally I would say yes, it's because we practice it a lot. But this year we had a really weird span of practices and we just didn't really get any wind. We were kind of upset. So I guess we're getting a little bit lucky today. We'll say
just banking on the luck here, maybe perhaps. Who knows? Yeah. But thank you so much. It's going to be a great for second half. We're really excited and good luck the rest of the game.
No worries. Thanks for having me.
Thank you. No wind practice today.
Like, we need to work on put fans on the side. Yeah.
All right, we are back with a second interview here at CUC in one of our crossovers for mixed. We got Emmett over here for local 613 coming out of Kingston. Welcome, Emmett. 8-5, not bad, right? Good first half. You had a nice break that just got the whole team fired up with that Will Beveridge huck all the way to the back, Colin. In terms of first half mentality and how you're feeling, how is the team feeling right now?
Team's feeling really good, honestly. All season long, we've been pushing kind of a theme of resilience and energy. We're a small, really local team. We don't have that big of a player pool, so what it means is that we have to stick really, really tight together as a team because we sometimes have to play every game as if it's our last game to play as a team or as that group. So we're feeling really good. I mean, PBHG is a great team. They're a tall team, but kind of figuring out where we can shut them down and figuring out where we can burn them on offense a little bit too.
Absolutely. I love the team mantra, right, of local, and I love the togetherness on the sideline in the huddles. It just seems that the vibe is really, really cool. And in the second half, are you hoping to do anything on offense that is drastically different? Are you hoping to do something different on defense? And walk you through a little bit of the tactics that you're looking to see in that second half.
Yeah, in terms of kind of our tactics here, we're a very women-heavy team. So the more we can use our women matching players, both on offense and lock down their women on defense, I think the more, broken down we start to see their offense start to get. So yeah, we're just looking to call on all our strong players. We trust every single person on the team, whether they're on the sideline or whether they're on the field, even our practice players at home that are watching too. So we're just a tight group, and yeah, tactical. It's just all about shutting down their main players, and I think we're finding ways to do that so far.
Well, I wish you all the best in the second half. I love seeing super tight games, so I'm hoping for a couple more breaks on the local side just to keep this game interesting for our fans here. So thank you very much, Emmett.
Thank you so much for having me. Appreciate it.
Yeah, I was talking to his dad the whole.
And we're back right at the pool here in our second half of this mixed pool play matchup. This game will decide who comes second or third in the pool, moving into crossovers. Who will get the easier road into the quarterfinals will be local 613 in the black. Who top right off the hop here. And an excellent heads-up play by Kirsten Craig, but it's just out of reach. Craig has just been the workhorse for 613 this game. She's getting some of them, but she's made efforts on everything, and her team's had a hard time connecting with her when she's been open a lot. She'll take an injury as she's a little banged up from that layout, but she's okay. Walking off on her own power, no big deal. In the pink, it's Winnipeg's PBHG, the first seed in the tournament, a team that has made many, many, many appearances here. They're former champions on this field that are in the top level of the tournament quite often. I'm Clayton Howlett. I'm here with Coach Habib Atala to call this game for you. Habib, kind of want to give a recap of where the teams stand in strategy, tactics, and execution?
Well, at this point, PBHG is looking to stay consistent with their execution. They've been finding a lot of success early with their throwing snaps and their throwing choices. Also, well, as you can see, their deep game has been opening up quite well.
And indeed, as Burrell just turns on the wheels and is able to flip that to Boyda. Burrell wants it back. Boyda's going to take off. No, not there. They'll flip it around to Waldman. Waldman has another around. That's Daya. And Burrell wants it. This is going to air out. Cannot stay in bounds. We do get active in and out calls from our team in orange. And it just sails out. Players sometimes having a little bit of a misjudgment. Our get back line here for space for the observers is also colored blue.
Oh, really good effort by Burrell there, sticking the toe out. Obviously, unfortunately, out of bounds, but super athletic play to keep that game going.
Clement finds Tomilchev underneath. He'll swing that around to Rogers. In turn, going to Pearson, who plucks that from a bidding defender. 6-1-3 here. Moving it for this hold. Renault able to fake deep and has a big under. Hands for Tomilchev. He puts that out in front on just the kind of long line to Windover. And PBHG, another opportunity to break out a half here. No one's on Burrell, but he's kind of far away on the break side, so he will not get that pass. PBHG will huck. I hear a travel call on the throw, so this is going to come back. Grace Routledge collecting that as well, but I heard the travel immediately. It seems that Mike Clark does not disagree with his defender, Jacob Clement, calling that. Travel no contest. Sometimes your momentum in the hucks there, you pick up that back foot. And while there is this wrinkle in the rules where it's like if the travel really didn't matter, the observers will sometimes overrule it or teams can retract it. That one, you're coming into power position off a huck. The travel definitely affects the throw. So what will Clark do now? He'll reset it to the middle to Waldman, and Waldman's going to huck and keeps his feet on the ground. Burrell will have to get up high. Tall Paul is there and takes that. Paul Renault brings it down. Rogers has no resets until Rachel Alchuk is there to help out. Clement using the body to generate some separation. Seemed clean. He's just a big dude. If you post up on him, be prepared to plant your feet. Alchuk moves that over to Renault. Renault has Windover, so lots of front of the stack generation, but once again, it's just throwing off of the cutter's line. No completion to Pearson. Waldman's going to swing that to the middle. Burrell has been very vocal at this point to get the disc as he is open almost all the time. Clark puts that up to Boyda. No one's on Clark, so Boyda's going to put it up into space. It sails over his head. And Tomilchev saw that coming and gets in to ruin the second effort. Clement is going to pick up on the sideline. All starts to go deep. Renault, Tall Paul goes deep. And mistimes his jump. I don't think he really had to take it right there. He was thinking Burrell was a little bit closer. Herms now. We'll move that to Waldman. And another travel. Renault calling that on Herms. That's Jennifer Herms. Now, interesting positionally, though. Renault is quite far. Well, never mind. So players are getting back to where they need to. Renault is in position on Burrell right now. As Burrell moves back to where the travel occurred. Waldman. Boyda takes off deep. Clement hung out to stop that chance. Herms strikes up the line. And now we have a cascade. Burrell takes that away from Clement. Good retention there. Gaia takes the open side backhand. He looks for the flip around to Waldman. Waldman's going to continue that swing. Nope, he's not, as defenders came to take that away. But now he has Burrell on the second look. Burrell has that shot up to middle. Herms as she makes the 7 cut to stick around. Waldman now, quick dash off the front. His pass is going to hang. But Grace Routledge, great timing on her catch to start the half with the break train for PBHG.
This time PBHG able to just take their time on this 0 point. They were shooting deep a lot at this point. Obviously, seeing that their deep strikes were there and visible in the spaces, just hanging a little bit, but finally able to punch that in and walk themselves up to the red zone.
That marks the 4th break of the game for PBHG. No breaks for 6-1-3 yet, not for the lack of chances. Earlier, they had one come back on a call, and then PBHG worked it all the way back. Kind of a turning point, possible turning point in the game, sort of did not materialize for 6-1-3. Now they will have to work on offense, which against the wind here.
Hoping local 613 realizes, hey, yeah, the disc was sailing. Disc was a little bit too far on a couple occasions, but just like their team mantra, you know, we're not out of this. We're going to keep fighting. We're going to keep playing. There's still so much game time left, Clay, and this is going to be a great opportunity for Loco to say, we're going to stay composed as a team. We're going to hit our shots that we've been hitting all tournament, all season, and we're going to stay into this game.
That pull stays low, fielded by Galbraith, who moves it to Brundage. They run a split stack 2, kind of that. I don't know if it has a name, but it's a very common play, Coach, where you've got 2 players set up in a split stack on one side of the field. The one in front cuts in the middle, takes off deep. The person in the back just comes under, and it's kind of a free pass. Do you have a name for that?
I actually don't.
Okay.
It's I have to think about that one.
We call it an Air Canada Rouge. Local flights only. It's a short pass. Foul called here against Rebecca Bieber, as Minor felt like she had a line and was impacted by contact she could not avoid nor initiate. Bieber agrees. So, well, she brought the disc to her, but they're still talking. So I assume everything's in consensus here, but let's find out.
Yeah, looking like an inadvertent trip by the defensive player, but you know, when your feet get caught together. So I think PBHG realizing that, oh yeah, hey, my bad, I actually did trip you. That is a foul.
Everybody does, though, have to confirm what the count will be and what the position will be. It seems that not everybody agreed on PBHG there. Number 77, I think that's Madeline Cruz, is nearby saying, actually, I don't think it was a foul.
Mm-hmm.
So, foul, no contest is the ruling from our observers looking at those hand signals. At this point, brought to you by hand signals. Use them. Very helpful for us. Then later, moves that around to Beveridge. He looks to go back, but it's not there. Instead, it's Brundage who will come and get the reset. He takes the around with an OI edge to Michaels, fielded rather easily. Lots of folks in front of the disc, a little bit of a gamble by PBHG to double team. What would have been a throw to the end zone sets up a give-go, eventually ending in the hands with Will Beveridge. And we're scoring now 9-6.
Love the quick passes from local 613. They were within, at least the last 3 or 4 passes were within 5 to 10 yards in distance, and just keeping that disc moving. It's so hard to play defense when the disc is moving so quickly in such a small space. So well done, local, to get this hold.
It's the new end zone meta, if you would. It's I come from an era of jump and swing and use the break side and use the whole width of the field, give yourself lots of space. Now everybody just gets in front of the disc and cooks. And like you say, it's very difficult to cover when you tell a receiver, hey, just get in front, jab step, move around, lose your defender.
Yeah, definitely something I've noticed in the last couple of years, at least the last 5 years of Ultimate, where I grew up in an era too where I was told, hey, you only cut a certain way, you only cut this way, you only move into this space at this time. And I kind of like the Ultimate where actually there's just no rules, just play off each other, flow. You know, you can have this kind of cut, or you can get the disc 2 yards from the thrower, and sometimes that's okay, you know.
Yeah, both teams, though, showing when they employ, well, yeah, both teams showing that when they do employ that offense are also very willing to swing it around. So learning new stuff and using old stuff to generate more of a comprehensive end zone offense.
Absolutely. Love the mix.
Eisendreth flips this over to Nguyen. A little bit of blown coverage there by local. PBHG unable to take advantage. Moves to Jordan Turner. Turner's pass wide open to the open side to Mitchell. Mitchell thinks about the huck, doesn't like it. He finds Fauché from the slash cut from the stack. He'll move that to Schwartz, who times it continued quite well. Paget wants it back. He gets the reset. And pivots around. That hit Mitchell. Back to Paget. Eisendreth. Back to Paget. PBHG showing some patience here as lots of resets are being left open. A blown switch. Paget takes advantage and he's going to air this out. And somebody got a hand on that.
Tipped, yeah.
Kind of took the juice out of that throw, so it becomes an underthrown pass. I thought it was going to make it until those fingers came out. Jones.
I love when the defense is not only knowing where their player that they're supposed to be marking is, but also seeing where the disc is and knowing and anticipating what's going to happen next. So great heads up by Jones.
Jones, Scuba, the Beveridge is taken well. That was kind of awkward. I don't think Paget wanted to lay that hit. It was just Paget had, or Beveridge had to slow down quite a bit. Costigan. Gonna go with Jones. His pass pops up. Taken high by Jones. Flips it to Windover in the middle. Jones will get a back pick called. And Jones recognizes right away. Stalling 4. A little bit of false starts there, but everybody's okay with their position. And that bounces off the hands of Costigan. As was up high, hard catch to make when you're not expecting the disc to be at the edge of your reach. Right in front of you. May Nguyen quarterbacking who she wants. She called the shot to Fauché. Who has a great around throw to Mitchell on the inside. Schwartz is going to look for Fauché. And that is pulled for PBHG. The score 10-6. Coach, once again, it's not that local is not generating turnovers. It's just they can't seem to capitalize on the opportunity.
Absolutely. This is a situation again where defense is right there for local 613. Their heads up, their marks are being set, they're shuffling their feet on the marks and generating a lot of tough throws for PBHG. So PBHG is having to work very hard to hold and keep the disc moving. And we're hoping in the next point that this is another time again to recompose and say, all right, let's keep moving here. Let's throw to the gut. Let's throw to space with some touch. Let's keep our feet moving on offense, and let's punch this in.
So just looking at the time, everything we have on paper was kind of messed up in our lightning delay. But if I'm reading the clock correctly, we should be approaching soft cap in 6 minutes. And once we get there, we will explain what happens. Everybody, please feel free. In fact, I'm begging you to check my math, as I have not been doing well this week with that.
I'll help you out, Clay. I'm a math teacher, remember?
Yes, I am also a math teacher. But anyway, moving right along, that poll is going to be fielded by Renault, who flips that to Clement. Is inside, not there. All good defense by PBHG. That's going to be out. Renault looked at the wrong line at first. That line has been messing with people. Notes for next year: make the get back line a different color. Okay, Youngman calling for an end zone. Herms is going to go right up the line. Lots of poaches from local. Another pass, floaty, and no contest. That's a great no contest from Clement. Daya had it, and he was bumped right at the last second in the course of the catch. Really high spirit there, knowing that in an averted foul, you committed. No options here for PBHG, running out of time. But Daya comes back to get it, and they'll go to Herms. And with the goal, that was Jennifer Herms. You know, I said it last time, we always have to speculate. Jennifer Herms' best terms?
Great time cut by Hearns to get into the end zone. A lovely touch throw by Daya. Just kind of dipped down a little bit to move it, throw it away from the mark on a very tight edge. Just make sure that, hey, it's going to get to the receiver away from that defense.
6-1-3. energy is not negative, but certainly not high. I think with the score of now 11-6, they kind of see the writing on the wall, especially with our time cap approaching. Soft will be 240. Hard cap will be 250. That's 14 minutes before this game will only have 1 point left. So 5-point lead, very difficult to come back from. However, in 14 minutes, if local were to score and bring it within to 1 point at 11:10, time would no longer be a factor. So, not like out of this game yet, and scoring those points that quickly is not impossible, but we're going to have to see a lot of efficiency on offense and generating turnovers quickly. They set up in a vertical stack and run a play right away. PBHG all over it, so they're going to have to reset. Galbraith, looking for options, is going to flip that to the middle to Connor White. White gets that up the gun to Finlater. Galbraith is available, but that pass off the line. Problem that has been catching up with local this game, just not really matching where we're throwing the disc to where our cutter is going. Pink play, whenever they say colors, it's a hammer strike. This is something I've learned about PBHG. See, there it is. Figured that out. But it'll move around to Wong. Yonkin will move that to Clark. Yonkin. Clark. Oh, almost the run through B was Galbraith. With his experience, he knew what was happening next. Burrell, who once he turns on the Jets, is available anywhere. They don't see the wide open hook to him. He'll come back to the stack as we get an undercut from the fourth, but nobody is on Mike Clark. And no one's on Burrell either, so he gets the free reset around.
I love the communication by PBHG. Well, so much talking in the offensive stack.
Youngman throws that, a great catch, but a pick called. So I'm not sure if it was Jonah Wong who was picked. It might have been, because that was one continue, everyone. Even though other players had stopped because of the pick, if the thrower and the receiver don't acknowledge it on the first throw, after or during the pick call, it's still a live disc. The play has to resolve itself. So Jonah Wong kind of saving the possession there for PBHG.
Oh, yeah. Still a great layout.
Still on tape.
Mm-hmm.
Youngman had it to Jonah Wong, but in the dirt. It's going to come in stalling too as local takes the timeout. They don't have time for this timeout.
Yeah,
That's the only reason I don't like it.
Yeah, indeed, honestly, because now we're getting to a situation where time will no longer be a factor later on in the next 4 or 5 minutes. So if time's no longer going to be a factor, this is where local 613 cannot afford the mistakes that they've been making. This is the chance to really punch it in. This is also a chance that you can have a little bit of a mountain to climb. All the throwing mistakes, we got to put it behind us and make it happen right here, right now.
There's a soft cap form after this point. We'll tell you what that means, because it.
I meant to say 4 or 5 seconds.
Oh yeah. Now that being said, we did talk to local. Their goals for the tournament. I mean, they were saying that they wanted to find their peak. They weren't really sure where they stand, and like we said earlier, they were kind of seeing the writing on the wall here. So looking for their limits and everything. And with a pool play game, I mean, they're still in contention. This just means they're going to come third place in the pool. And now they have a crossover. They're not out. The bottom 2 teams from each pool are out of contention for the bracket, the top 8 bracket. So losing this game means you have a harder crossover, but it doesn't impact your run. So
absolutely, this is all about local getting into their element, and whatever happens in this game in the end, take everything as a learning opportunity, put it in your back pocket, and take it to the next round.
Brenda flips that up to Pearson. He wants to put it out to space. Connor Wright, who we had not seen a lot in this game, is making some great cuts and decisions, and he's quick with a scoop cut around to go back up the line. He moves that around to Galbraith. Galbraith thought about the flick over top. But he's too veteran for that as he gets the disc moving with his offense. Pearson through the hands of his receiver. Just an execution error for local catching up with them. And PBHG, a chance to extend their lead with a break opportunity. Yonkman doesn't like the cut off the back. Interesting to see PBHG's strategy of making sure that male matching players can poach deep. Male matching cutters doing a great job of pulling their check out of the play. Burrell doesn't like the throw off the line. He does like that one, though, to Yonkman and gives him a big leading pass. And this throw to Bieber hangs. And the wind in that corner, once again, popping it up. And Avery Michaels able to make the defensive play and run onto it. I feel that was a little bit of a late huck, Coach.
Yeah, I feel like the receiver was, I would say, too far at that point, where you were either going to really have to boost it and put it a little bit more power on that to get to the end zone, but at that point, I believe it was too far.
Yeah. Bieber will certainly have the separation. Michaels with the defensive play, moves it around, and White keeps that in bounds. White making a late appearance in this game, having some great points. That throw is a dot. And 44, Alex Finlater found it in the end zone.
I love the dribbling right now by local 613 on that point. So for dribbling, those who don't know, you're throwing a pass, and if you are catching the pass, you are immediately looking the same way that you caught the pass for somebody else streaking behind you and coming upfield. And you're pretty much following your pass and then giving out those little quick dishes so that we can get forward momentum and running through it. And a great job by local to really take advantage of that and work up the field pretty well.
So the score now 11-7 because the soft cap horn went after that last point had started. Points start as soon as the goal is confirmed on the previous point. So that 70 seconds of offense signaling readiness is technically the start of a point. So the horn went during the last one. It ended on that goal to find later. The new one, this point, started immediately after that. And now we're in soft cap. So that means we take the highest score and we add 1, and it's a game to that point. So the score is 11-7. It's now a game to 12. So, having a big lead coming into soft cap really puts you in the driver's seat here. PBHG only needing 1 point. If local can score 3 points in the next, 6 minutes, then they could extend the game to hard cap and time wouldn't matter. But with the time between polls, mathematically really tough. PBHG has called no timeouts, so they could burn the clock if they wanted. 2 timeouts for half, you can take them during cap. So kind of seals the deal for PBHG here. But some good effort and play here from 613 regardless. Paget's open, no one's on him. PBHG will flip it around to him. His pass is blocked by 22. Julian Costigan. Now, if you're 613, I want to see some hustle here.
And if you're local right now, let's punch it in right away because you want to get these quick breaks. You want to get up and play more repetitions against this PBHG team.
Jones thinks about looking for a reset, sticks with it as Erica Olachuk is there. She'll give that back to Jones as he sticks around and put it in his hands. Coverage. Over to White. White calling the shot up line, but no call. That was weird. Everybody sort of stopped, but there's a play on call. So now there's a pick called. And that's going to go back as Minor got away from Maddie Schwartz on a pick. Picks are legal and ultimate. We get to top speed and sprinting and aren't wearing pads, so it's too dangerous to allow them. Jones doing some work. This pass is up high at a high stall. Pardon me. And it's Beveridge who comes down with it. And he will air one out. Paget trying to make the play, but it's Julian Costigan getting on the board. The score 11-8.
Call, I believe.
Question mark? No, there's a call. Observers signal no call.
Yeah, looking like a retracted call. Observer signaling with the hands going left to right. That's a wonderful cross-field pass by Will Beveridge. So going kind of against the grain of going towards the break side and fading. That's very difficult for a defender to read, and as it's fading towards the offensive player. So great job, Local.
That's a break. I see neither team calling a timeout here. I mean, maybe you feel like you don't need it if you're coaching staff for PBHG. I'm not really sure. We've got, looking at the clock here, 3 minutes before hard cap. If Local were able to score within that 3 minutes, they would nullify the hard cap problem.
If I'm Local right now, I'm going down in match defense, and I just want to block right away. I'm trying to get that disc back as quickly as possible.
Yeah. But, I wonder if the captains and coaches from each team had a little discussion and be like, listen, if we bring it into, are you calling a timeout?
I'd be
And if the
interested to
answer
know.
is yes, you're like, all right, let's just play this out.
Yeah.
So this has been a very highly spirited game. Teams
Absolutely.
coming with quick resolutions, pulling up from what could be dangerous plays. No taunts, just some.
And Local 613 really playing true to their mantra. We are controlling the controllables. We are playing as hard as we can every time we get an opportunity, and that's exactly what I've been seeing her play. Local 613 playing hard every single time they get on the field.
This will roll out of bounds, and it looks like the Thomas Boyle will come to pick it up. Bruno moves it back 6 feet. Maybe a little bit of trolling here against Boyle. He just lapped it off. Paul, the jokester. Boyle will move this around to Paget. And soft, but PBHG gets this point. They will win the game. Eisendrath looks to seal it to the Thomas Boyle, who has the read, and that's the game. The score, 12-8 for the crew from Winnipeg. The first seed in the tournament will advance into a rank 2 versus rank 3 from a different pool crossover game. They will play second in the pool. That should be the game. Players are just double checking, is that it? And that is game, so we nailed it on the timing.
Absolutely. And if I'm Local 613 right now, I'm happy with this game because you knew you had nothing to lose by playing, and you kept the game pretty close. Everything that you took against a really good team like PBHG, you are now primed and sort of ready to play a tough opponent because you played your heart out in a game like this. So you would be in a really good position if you're Local 613.
We're going to bounce off the stream and take a little bit of break and do a little bit of rotation. It will be myself, Clay Howlett, and Shane Pfeiffer on the next game. And Habib Batala, you'll be joining us for the final round, I believe, in an open quarterfinal later on. Right now, we're going to bring you a matchup between Vancouver's Drift and Quebec City's Crew, I believe. So tune in for that shortly. I couldn't tell you what time it starts because I'm not tracking from the lightning delay, but if you check our social media, you will find out everything you need to know. So join us soon. Thanks for tuning in to this match.
Thanks, everyone.